you speak English. English is very, very different from Chinese. So it's gonna take maybe 1 year for you to get used to this new structure of language. And then the next year is for you to start it to know, okay, I'm feeling it. So I can learn more. I can absorb more vocabulary. I can say longer sentences. I can express my opinions with higher phrases, advanced phrases. But I would say 2 years is pretty fast.
And welcome to another world of the Marvins World podcast, a podcast where we speak to tantalizing, amazing, and just fantasia people who will help people like you and me make what we love a full-time job. If you like the podcast, please give us a review in iTunes, share it with your friends, and let people know about it. If you don't like it, well, keep it quiet. Today, we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Annie, and she is a Mandarin teacher for English people. She's been doing it for many years, and she has a fascinating story, which we are looking forward to hearing. Hello, Annie.
Hi, Marvin.
Hello.
I'm so glad to be here with you.
Me too.
Okay. Let me introduce myself, right?
Yep.
So I'm Annie from Guangzhou, China. Guangzhou is a southern city in China. I am a certified Chinese teacher who offer online and offline Mandarin and Cantonese lessons to people. I also share my teaching videos and articles on Facebook and my own website. So you can search Annie Luo, that's Chinese, Annie Luo on Facebook, or you can search Learn Authentic Chinese on Google to see my website. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. And to tell us your story, just tell us a bit about yourself. What was your life like, and how did you decide to become a lady who wants to teach Chinese to Westerners and other people across the world?
Okay. First thing is when I was in school, I think I was quite good at languages, and I had high score in English tests. So later in my life, I have some friends who come from different places, and at that time they were struggling with study Chinese. And then I try to help them, like from time to time, giving casual lessons. In the end, all of them, they told me that, wow, Annie, you are so good at it. Maybe you can do it like a part-time thing. And then at that time, I was quite confused about my future. I don't really know which path that I want to go for my career, since I did not like my previous job at all. I was a weather report editor. I didn't like it, and then I started to look it up on the internet, how to become a Mandarin teacher or Cantonese teacher. And then I attended some kind of like a professional training courses. 1 year later, after hard working, I got my certification, and I officially became a certified Mandarin teacher. And then somehow, from now 1 year ago, I realized that I could not stand it anymore. I could not stay in the same office because it was killing me. I didn't like it. So I quit. That was really hard for me because all my parents, my friends, even my old colleagues, they say, don't do it, because it's a great job for you. It's stable. We have decent salary, and you don't know how competitive outside of the world. So don't go, stay. And I said, no, I have to go, because if I stay, I know what my future would be like. Just like my other colleagues who are already 50, 60, and they still sitting in the same chair doing the same stuff. And that's not what I want. So I quit, and then I started to try to teach Chinese. Somehow in the beginning was difficult because I don't have any resources. Don't I don't have stable students, right? I only have a few, but not enough. And then I try to ask around, to ask my foreign friends, hey, where did you find the school to study Chinese before? One of my friend, he said that, oh, okay, yeah, I went to the school in Guangzhou. Maybe I can introduce you to my teacher, see if they want to hire someone. And I said, yeah, sure. Then I went there, I passed the interview, and then they started to give me students, but that's still not enough. Then I started to explore on social media like everyone else does. So let me see, maybe started from the pandemic. This year I started to try on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and started make my own videos, building connection with potential students. Yeah, that's my story in brief.
Okay, and like, what was your struggles to get to where you are? Like, what was the challenges, and what was the excitement about it all?
Um, the struggle is that it's a brand new industry for me, and finding potential students which are clients are not something familiar with me. I used to sit in the office and I did my assignment day after day, that's it. But this is a new job. I need to create a teaching material, prepare the class, teach, do promoting, and talk to people, and do everything, almost everything. So it's a new experience, and it took me a few months to get used to it. And also the other struggling was that I spent hours making stuffs for it every day. And sometimes even my friends ask me to maybe, oh, let's hang out a little bit. Then I've said, no, I can't, because I have to do this today. If I don't finish, I will be late tomorrow. I cannot post this tomorrow. So it's kind of affect my social life. That's what I am worried about. Yeah, it's quite hard. But the most exciting thing to teach is I can find a lot of potential in myself. And I know I am more than just someone who do the paperwork as I used to be. I stand out of my comfort zone. I am proud of it. And also, when I meet new students, new people, even though I don't have a chance to teach them, but when I talk with them, like they are quite, like ask me some question, They show their own opinions about the language, about the culture, about the country, about everything. And I also learn stuff from them, not just they learn things from me. So that's very great. I am a people person, so I love that kind of connection. Um, yes, that's about that.
You like the connection with people, and what is it about that connection of people that you enjoy?
Um, just always finding something new, like new life experience when I talk to them, because I live in Guangzhou, I live in China. Even though I went out for traveling, but it's just 2 weeks, 3 weeks is not enough. But when they came to me, they showed not just them, not just the person, but also their life experiences, their opinions about everything, about small stuff, about big stuff. And I love learning new things, new languages, new knowledge. Um, yeah, people excites me. All kind of people excites me. Um, mhm.
Okay. And what are some funny instances? Like, I don't know, my name is Dave, and like, what there, sweetheart, I want to learn a bit of Mandarin, you know what I mean? And like, he's like, he does really stupid things. Like, he takes him a while for him to learn even 5 letters in Mandarin.
Okay, you mean that? Sorry, what was your question again? I was a little bit lost.
What do you find the challenge in teaching people? Because I mean, there's people at different levels, and so if someone struggles, and how do you deal with it? Because you obviously
Oh,
have to approach different people differently.
yeah. Some people, they, because they're, maybe I don't know, maybe due to their mother tongue, they have some difficulty of pronouncing certain tones in Chinese,
Okay.
like the one like third tone, like that one, the third tone is very
Ah,
hard. Most of the foreigners, yeah, sometimes they would just do it as the second tone or the first tone.
okay.
So when the tones is different and the meaning would be totally different in Chinese. And in the beginning, they cannot pronounce it correct. So I will just try to relax, don't push them too hard. I will use a lot of examples, like a different vocabulary with that similar tones and sound. And then always go back to review the old lessons with them, and just giving them like a more listening material, like a TV shows, audios, so they would get used to the tone, and after some days they will get it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is your target audience as a whole?
Target audience, um people who love China, who love Chinese culture, who love the language, who have the need to maybe visit China or work and live in China. And they are my target audience.
But are they from England? Are they Western English speaking? Is that your target audience mostly?
No, not just English speaking people, but people from all over the world. I want people from Africa, from like Europe, America, or other places. All of them, if they want, they can learn something from me. Not me, sorry. From my class or from my website.
So if someone is so how do you adjust your approach? to someone from different languages? So if someone's from, wait a second. If someone is from Germany, or someone's from Spain, or France, or Thailand, or England, how do you, because you said already in a lot of languages, the is different in Chinese and other languages. So what are some examples of where you've had to adjust to different languages?
Let me think. So, for example, I have a student from Thailand, and she's problem, because the Taiwanese language is a little bit like chu that is a little bit like slower than Chinese, and the tone's a little bit like a wave, and the Chinese is not like that. The Mandarin is more like a ha 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 ha, like a stop and short and fast.
Oh,
so when she speaks Chinese, she also will have that kind of like 我叫什么我今年30岁了 that kind of things. It's okay, I can understand, but it's just not that natural. So what I would do is I will do it maybe the short sentence or the phrase, like one character after one character, and let her listen, and she tried to copy my pace, my tones, also copy my mouth shape. I will let her watch my mouth shape. Yeah, that's the way.
and what about, so with English, is how, so if it was me, how would you approach teaching me?
Well, actually, teaching you is the easiest thing, because you speak proper, like perfect, not proper, but perfect English. So everything I try to explain to you, you will get it immediately. If I teach other students with other mother tongue, sometimes I need to use a lot of body language, like, oh, how your mouth should open like this, like that, stretch, like your tongue a little bit twisty, a lot of body language. But with you, it's easy. I just try to explain it to you like from human to human.
So, I mean, one of the things about you, so you're already sort of fluent in English and Chinese, but how many languages do you cover? Like what are you fluent in?
I speak Cantonese. That's also my mother tongue. And also I know how to, I understand the dialect from, the Taiwan. They have their own dialect, right? Taiwan, and also Hujian province and the east of Guangdong province, they have like a Minnanyu. I understand that because my dad is from that part, but I cannot really speak.
Ooh.
Because lacking of practice.
Okay, and so your main languages are English and Mandarin and Cantonese?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. And how did you manage to become fluent in 3 different languages? What was the process for learning it? And like,
first of all, I have to say my English is not that fluent, as now you can hear. Sometimes I stop, sometimes I sometimes I think quite for a few seconds. But for me, learning a new language is not just about reading a book, reading textbook, or try to do a lot of notes, learning grammar, but also need to fall in love with this language, or let's say this culture. And then when you do all this hard work, you won't think it's hard, but you will enjoy it actually. And which means you give less effort, but you gain more result, good results. I used to watch a lot of Hollywood movies, American TV shows. That really helps. And when you learn Chinese or other like Spanish, I think watching videos, listening to audios are very important.
Okay. But how did you go through fall in love is the main thing, but how did you go the process of deconstructing a language and then putting it together so you understand it?
Mm, well, for me, wow, that was a long time ago when I learned English 20 years ago, and I I don't remember quite well, but I remember in the beginning when I was learning English, I used pinyin, like similar Chinese character to help me to remember all the sound of English. And I even write some Chinese beside the English, so then I can remember, oh, this is the word of smart, intelligent. Okay, that's how it sounds. And then later, I started to pick it up when I listen to those words, but I cannot speak, right? I can only understand, but I cannot speak. And then somehow I had a great teacher in middle school. I think she's the reason why I fell in love in English. She was nice and she knows how to interact with students in the class. She play us a lot of funny videos. Um, she tried to teach us how to read a poetry in English. And then I said, wow, that's really interesting because it sounds nothing like Chinese. And with this language, I know that I can go to watch news and videos from other countries, and I can absorb more information than someone who don't speak English. So I think that's very crucial to learn to master it. And I love watching movies that makes me kind of like uh, fall in love.
Okay. And so it was the movies basically then that made you fall in love with English language.
Well, you can say that. Yeah, I admit. I think that's the reason.
But is English a language that is so do a lot of people in China now fluent in English? Is there a growing trend in China now?
Marvin, you have no idea how popular English class, English teacher are in China. I would say 9 out of 10 parents will send their children to school and not just in school, but also after school classes, and spend a lot of money, a lot of time on their children to try to learn English well. In the old generation, like my parents, they learn it, but they didn't really speak it. They don't speak it. It's just like passing the test. That's it. But nowadays, we started to know how important that is, because some people want to send their children out abroad to study in a university, and some want to have a better job. They realize English is very important. So I think younger generation like me are better than my parents' generation. And the children who now are maybe a teenager, like a 13, 12, they are better than my generation. So we are getting better and better.
And how does the structures of the two languages compare with English and Chinese?
Okay, let's say this. Okay, I You see, most of the sentence, the subject and then the verb, right? In English, subject, verb, object, and then maybe it's the time, like describing the time in the end. For example, I go to school every day. This is the basic structure of English. But somehow in Chinese, we would like to put the time after the subject, like more likely. So in Chinese would be 我每天去学校上课。每天 every day I would put after 我 I. So 我每天 I every day go to school. That's just an example of just two languages. Yeah. And I think in Chinese, grammar is not very, very straight. It's not as straight as some Latino language like French, Spanish, or Germans. But maybe it's easy to learn the basic grammar of Chinese, but it's really hard to get very advanced. If you want to be very fluent, you want to become a writer in Chinese, it's going to take years and years of practicing and trying hard.
Oh, okay. But what? Oh, okay. But what about conversation?
What about conversation? You mean
Like
uh,
what me and you are having now. How long would that take for English?
okay. Wow, oh, wow, that would be, let's say you, for example, you know nothing about Mandarin and you want to study it very hard every day. Let's say maybe 2 or 3 years later, we can do this conversation in Chinese.
Whoa!
It's good or bad, you think?
Whoa! That is that. Whoa! Ho ho! And why is that? Why would it take so long?
Oh, it's not long. 2 years, I think, is really fast for a beginner. It's not long at all. Because if you work hard every day, even you work hard every day, you speak English. English is very, very different from Chinese. So it's gonna take maybe 1 year for you to get used to this new structure of language. And then the next year is for you to start it to know, okay, I'm feeling it. So I can learn more. I can observe more vocabulary. I can say longer sentences. I can express my opinions with higher phrases, the advanced phrases. But I would say 2 years is pretty fast. It's not long at all.
Oh
What do
God,
you
that's yeah. I'm not yeah. You know what? I'm not surprised. Yeah, because the language structures two completely different. Like the letters, everything is completely different. So,
mm-hmm.
and have you visited Western nations?
Yes, I did. I did a trip to Europe. Well, not the Great Britain yet, but to France, Switzerland, it's Italy, those areas. And I love it. I love the architect, especially the architects, and that small cafe that people can sit outside. And we don't have that much in China, like a small table outside of the cafe. We don't have that much.
So I've got two questions to ask here. So, like with English, there's a joke. So, if an English person there's a joke in Chinese, like, "Oh, my name, like the reason I look like this. So, okay, I'll use an example of one of my jokes. Um, my dad is Irish and my mum's Chinese, which means I'm a hardworking alcoholic. How would that translate in Chinese?
Okay. Uh, well, first of all, I can translate your sentence like directly into Chinese, what you said directly. But if the people who don't know the drinking culture in the UK, they won't understand, right? They don't know what's the point, what's the funny point of this joke. Only after they know, oh, okay, yeah, because the British they drink a lot and they can drink a lot, so that would be funny. Do you understand
Okay,
what I mean? I'm trying to make you
okay.
understand because my English is not very good. Yeah, you have to learn the culture, know the manners and the habits of this country, then you can understand the jokes.
But how would it sound if you were to translate my joke exactly?
Do you want me
Yes.
to translate right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it will be like this. 我一半是英国人，我的爸爸是英国人，我的妈妈是中国人，所以这就解释了为什么我是半个酒鬼。酒鬼 here is the alcoholic,
Okay.
酒鬼。
Okay.
Yeah, 酒 is the alcohol, 鬼 is the ghost. So alcohol ghost is the alcoholic. You see, it's
Okay.
not funny. I know you see, it's not funny because yeah, it's just different. Let me take some like Cantonese for example. Even Cantonese and Mandarin, they're both Chinese, but when I try to transform my Cantonese jokes into the Mandarin, it wouldn't sound funny at all. The tones, all the vibe will change. So
Okay.
it's hard.
How would you how do you not forget Mandarin or Cantonese or English? How do you not forget English, considering that you're in China and you're not using it?
No, because of my job, I use it every day.
That's true. See you later. Um.
Yeah,
Okay.
I use it every day, so I won't forget. Some words I will forget, but I would like to try to read the news or the books as much as I can. So I will pick it up again.
And what about Cantonese?
Cantonese, I also because it's very funny because my city, the dialect of my city is Cantonese. So which means when I hang out with my friends, my childhood friends, they all speak Cantonese. And because the education policy in China, so when we went to school, we have to learn Mandarin, like a very standard proper Mandarin. And for some people, Mandarin is also the working language in a lot of companies. So it's like in let's say it's like in America, in some some the south of America, you will have to say English and Spanish every day, so you won't forget it.
Oh, okay. Um. Okay. And that's what's what has been the biggest moment in terms of learning teaching? What what is your day to sorry, this is a question I want to ask you. What was your day-to-day routine when you were studying English?
You mean when I was a student?
Yeah,
Not now, right?
how did you
Now I don't really study it. I okay. In school, we went to school at 7:30 every day, and every day we had 30 minutes of like it's called morning reading, 早读, morning reading. So all the students together read the books, sentence after sentence every day, 30 minutes. And then of course we will have classes, English classes, but that's more for grammar stuff. After school, when I come home, I will do some homework, English homework every day. But after the homework, I will try to give myself a treat, which is watching TV. And I love watching English TV. So I guess that chilling activity is also the chance of study for me.
Okay. And if I want to learn Chinese, what program should I watch
Um,
to learn the other way?
okay, the program. Um, I have to say in the beginning, you might not be able to understand some TV show because they talk really fast. Sometimes they have accents uh, from their own dialects. So in the beginning, try to look for the standard teaching videos on internet, or try to get a professional teacher to help you to correct your pronunciation. And a good start is always great for your future study. And then later, when you can start to understand a little bit, then you can step to some short videos, like maybe some like a cartoon for kids, some songs for kids because they speak slower. And then later, and you can try to like use Hello Talk or some other app to find a native speaker as a friend. So when you have conversation with them, they will try to slow down to let you understand. So it's a great way to practice your listening and also your speaking. And then later, when you get much better, you can start to listen to like a proper TV shows or even news. You know, that's the way of
Okay.
step by step. Mm.
But I have two questions to follow on past of that. You know, being an adult, you're not really so keen on children's cartoons. You said that what's it called? You have to fall in love with the language. How do you? No, effectively, you just got to. Okay, yeah, no, that's very structured. Yeah, that's a good idea. And what about like in terms of learning the grammar of a language?
The grammar of the language. So your question was what we can do to learn the grammar of the language, right? In order to learn that.
As well as what I just said.
Okay. For the grammar part, that you can go to find a book because you can find a lot of grammar books in the market. Just any one of them is fine because they're quite similar. Find a book and try to see the formula of the structure and try to remember it by heart. And then you use a lot of examples, try to how can I say that? Put the real life examples into the formula to make sentences like I do these things. So I would be the subject, and then I change into you, he, she, they, and then I change the verb like eat, listen, read, and then maybe the objects change different things to practice the same grammars over and over again. Then you will get used to it, right? So every day every other day is one grammars, and then you will starting to feel comfortable of the grammar.
And what about in terms of like finding a teacher in that language? Like, what is the right approach? And because teachers aren't, they're not it's not going to be like, oh, you get a teacher and you'll magically get what you want and be fluent in that language. How should someone go? What should they do to get the most out of a teacher, as well as those things you mentioned?
I think looking for a teacher is, to be honest, okay, let's say to look for a teacher, to find a teacher is easy, but to find someone who is fit for you is not easy. It's just like seeing a therapy, right? It's the same. So you, of course, you can try on the internet. You will find, you will meet many teachers on italki, Preply, and other website. And you can also find teachers in your own city. I'm sure you have some schools, some language school, they recruiting students. And then you will take maybe 1, 2, 3 classes with these teachers, no matter face-to-face or with the online app. You just try to ask more questions, like if you don't understand, you try to ask the teacher, see how they react, see how they try to explain to you. If you feel, okay, I get it, I understand quickly, and I love the way of him or her teaching, and then I can continue with this one. But if you feel like, okay, I still don't get it, 30 minutes later, I feel bored, I lose my interest, and it's really hard for me to understand, which means that they are not fit for you, then maybe you can try to look for another one, right? Let's say 3 classes are good enough to know whether this person is the right one. Yeah. Not like marriage, but like tutoring is good enough.
God, it would be funny, wouldn't it, in a marriage, if like, oh, you got so many candidates to get married, but like you got to go out for 3 dates with them to find out if they're the right suit for you.
To be honest, I think, okay, can we talk something else? No, maybe. To be honest, I think 3 days is also good enough for a person to understand whether the other person is the one that they want to date in the future, right? Later. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Similar, the same.
It's a good analogy. And what do you love about teaching people?
What I love about teaching people is that when I see my students getting improvements, maybe the first time they know nothing about Chinese, they don't even know how to say their nice to meet you, my name is blah blah blah, and then I can feel they have improved after 1 month, 2 months. Then I will feel like, wow, then that's what I have, I have contributed to this person. I help them to learn something, at least something, not a lot, but just something. Then I can see their smile on the face. Then I feel very fulfilled. I guess that's the reason why I love teaching. Compared with my old job, I didn't get that chance to see people smiling at me because of my work. That's a great comparison.
That must. And what's the hardest thing and most annoying thing about it?
About teaching?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, annoying thing, actually not many, because I think all of my students, they're very nice people. They are very educated. They love this culture. They they want to do well. So not really. But if I have to say one is um sometimes, some people, they will accidentally mention the topic is a little bit not a little bit, but very controversial topic. And for me, for single person, I don't think I should just give them certain opinions. I don't want to misguide them. And I will try to avoid those very sensitive topic. Well, I can talk. I would love to talk to them, but I don't want to be very, very extreme. Like, oh, this is right, this is wrong. No, I always say you have to think everything from different angles and try to understand this world, not just from your angle, but from other people's angles. So yeah, that's a little bit hard.
And what would you say? What advice would you give to someone that's looking to become a teacher?
Let me think. Okay. Um, the advice that I will give, like become a Mandarin teacher as me, right? Or just general teacher,
Just
but Mandarin.
teaching languages, or yeah, just let's just say Mandarin teacher because that's what you do.
Okay, the first thing is that I think very important. It seems a little bit unfair, but they have to be able to speak like at least in intermediate English, because if you don't know the language in the middle, it's very hard to explain something like the grammar things. Not body language is not enough, but English is very, very crucial. And the second one is, even though you're a native speakers, you know English, you know Chinese, but you also need some professional training before you become a teacher, because those classes, those training will give you the scientific method of teaching, right? You cannot just say, oh, okay, let's just like for now, if I speak Mandarin to my friends, I would speak really fast. But if I speak to a student, I cannot do that. I have to slow it down and pronounce every single characters with very clear sound. Very sounded, very clear. That's the different thing. And that's what the training taught me. And apart from that, then also you need to be very open-minded.
Okay.
Because when you meet people from other backgrounds, you will have some conversation of sensitive topic. Then you cannot just say that, okay, I don't agree with you. You are against us. So no, I fight with you. No, you have to be open-minded. You have to listen to different voices, not accept, but listen to different voices and try to communicate. There's one saying in Chinese, it's called 求同存异. 求同存异 means seek the common ground while reserving differences. That's what I do all the time. I think those Mandarin teachers should have that. And the last but not least, try to prepare some lozenges. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The kind of candy to moisture your throat. because being a teacher, you will need to talk hours of the day. And then I do need those things. And I hope they have enough.
And what's what is a root? No, I think that's it. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast. And I think the two sort of questions I want to ask you are, who are your hero? What life advice would you give to your younger self? And what is a quote you like to live the rest of your life by?
Okay, about the hero stuff, I don't have a hero. I I feel a little bit embarrassed when you ask me this question because I don't really have a hero. I think I just try to want to be the best of me every day. And I don't want to follow other people's steps because I am who I am. I want to create my own path. So yeah, that's the answer for that. And then the advice for my younger self is to, okay, Annie, you should have asked more questions when you were teenagers. Be more curious about life and try to step out of the comfort zone, which I didn't do when I was young, and I regret it. Also, don't be afraid of making mistakes, because all your mistakes makes who you are, and mistakes are also part of your life experiences. Try to enjoy that. Yeah. And then the quote for me to live my life is, be nice and cheerful to other people. Love who I am this way, and love myself. Be fearless to the barriers that stop me from moving forward. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. And once again, how can, if anyone wants to learn Mandarin from you, how can they find out about you?
Okay. All right, great. They can search Annie Luo, but that's Chinese, on Facebook. Or they can search the learn authentic Chinese.wordpress.com. That's my website. Then you can reach out me through those methods. So yeah, thank you, Marvin.
Okay. And for everyone back home, if you like the podcast, thank you all for watching. If you like the podcast, please give us a review on iTunes, share it with your friends. And yeah, that's been Annie. I hope you've enjoyed her. And I'll see you guys soon.